doing what I do here every afternoon. Rich has had a good signal all afternoon. David did too. Band's holding in. Hasn't been doing that long thing. Now, you see, I'm saying that now. Now it's going to happen. But, yep. Oh, right over to you, George. So it's just me, you, unless David comes back, and probably he won't be back for a while. It's just you and I and Rich. N2LJO in the group, W2SDR.
Yeah, okay, Frank. Very good. W2SDR with N2RY and N9PVF eating. Well, if he eats quick, I guess he might be able to get back. But I just went outside. I worked home today. Didn't have any appointments, so I went outside to configure our garage to put both of our cars in. See, I've got, in one corner, I've got up the boat anchor shack. So, you can't put two cars in the way you normally would and have space in between them. So, my car usually stays outside, of course, and she parks inside. And when we're getting bad weather, I move a few things around, and I'm able to put my car in tight, and then she parks right on top of my car. And we could fit both cars in to keep all the snow and ice off the cars. So I went out to do that a little while ago, and you could just, like, taste the snow. You know, you could feel it. And I think they're talking, like, maybe 4 to 8 inches up where we are, and a little bit more by Rich. So I have a feeling, I don't know, my recollection is when the weather is like that, the band tends to stay quote-unquote normal. So I have a feeling it's going to hang in, because you could just, like, taste the snow in the air already. I don't know what time it's supposed to start officially, but it can't be that far away. And my wife is off tomorrow, which is a good thing. She won't have to go anywhere, and I won't have to try to get her out of the driveway. So I wonder, Rich, how closely you are following the weather up in Dutchess County. N2RY with W2SDR, N2LJO.
Where did Rich go?
I don't know. I see a carrier there. I got a phone call. Actually, like 2 carriers last week, and then any of us. Maybe he got the dinner call.
He got a phone call. You coming back, you coming back, Rich? Well, all right. Let me make a transmission. I was upstairs trying to make another cocktail, listening on a WebSDR. I had to run back down. That's one thing I never do. Well, I mean, everybody's different. I'm not saying for any reason. I never answer the phone. I'm on the air. You know, I just don't answer it. I can only do one thing at a time. It's like somebody walking in a room and interrupting what you're doing, you know. I guess if it's an emergency, but I don't know, just me. Yeah, okay, so I picked it up, George. Good signal down this way. Sounding good, as always. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, I was telling the guys earlier I lost one of my cats this morning. Actually, last night, I think she had a stroke, and I had to put her down this morning. I did it myself with a firearm. That was pretty weird. But you know, it's one of those things you got to do with pets, you know. It's terrible. But anyway, that's life, you know. That's living on the planet Earth, man. Yeah, so George, good hearing it. Nice signal. We've had a pretty good turnout down here lately, which is really, really good. Signals have been real good. They've been hanging in here. You just never know about how they're going to happen. I can't make any rhyme or reason about it. We had about 4 inches of snow here. And they're expecting some more, another wave come through tonight, maybe a couple more inches. It's real heavy. I shoveled my walk, which I don't really have to as far as I'm off the road because nobody walks on it, but very heavy snow. And I guess that's what happens with when it's around that 30, 32 degree point when it snows. You get the heavy snow, and when it's real cold, you get the light blowing, drifting snow. So, but it was heavy. So, got it cleared just in case the mailman's got to put something on the porch. Is the only reason I really have to do it. So, on the usual rig tonight, George, the Anon 7000 DLE and the LD Moss amp. So, let me turn it to Rich. If he doesn't pick it up, back to you, George, and David's for dinner. N2RY in the group, W2SDR.
Now, I changed. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't change that setting. Let me just check something real quick. Hang on.
Testing.
No, now there is a carrier out there because I had fixed that problem that I was having. There was a box checked in the software. I don't know if you're seeing it. There is actually a carrier out there. Sorry about the cat. Yeah, I guess that's tough. I've never had a cat or a dog. Just based on the places we lived and my mother's preferences, and now my wife, I would love to have a dog. She doesn't want it. Doesn't really want a cat. Maybe if I twisted her arm, but I really want a dog. We've got a nice sized piece of property for it to run around. And I told her we could restrict it as far as what parts of the house. I would get something like a husky or something like that and make it a really nice dog house outside, heated. He could hang out with me in the lower level, in the garage and all of that, and have his run of the whole property, but she wants no part of it. And it is expensive. So it's interesting that you did it yourself, I guess. I don't know if you used those low velocity 22s that make very little noise or what you did, but over here, anyway, I think it's a 500-foot rule or 500 yards. I don't remember. I think it's 500 feet. You have to be 500 feet from the closest house. And that's only in rural counties. I think in my county here, it doesn't make a difference. You're not allowed to discharge a weapon unless you're at a shooting range or a situation where you have to discharge a weapon. So I guess if it was legal, you wouldn't have done it, and that's a shame. The snow, yeah, well, I didn't really pay attention to the whole map. I usually just zero in on where I am and what we're supposed to get. And from what I'm seeing, the latest forecast has us getting like between 4 and 8. So I'm over this whole New York thing. I'll tell you, after 59 years of life here, I wouldn't miss the snow. But, we have a guy that comes and does the driveway and all of that stuff, but it's just a pain, a real pain. And Well, the good thing is spring training is almost open officially, open unofficially. There's guys down there throwing a baseball around. Football is done with. It's staying lighter, later. And spring is just around the corner. W2SDR and no group. N2LJO.
N2LJO, W2SDR. Well, I don't think it's around the corner. I've said that before, too, in February. Then March has been brutal. And it feels like you're waiting months for it to get warm. It's just... You just never know. I hope it is, but I don't think it is. Good signal down here, George. We had a nice group in here, nice QSO in here tonight. And I have one of those Gamma air rifles. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with some of those, but they are unbelievably powerful. And I have low velocity pellets as well as high velocity that easily break the sound barrier. And now New Jersey is not the most gun-friendly state, obviously, but down here in Salem County, they don't bother you too much. So this is every bit as powerful as a .22. And I used a high velocity pellet, 177 pellet, because I didn't want to, you know, I wanted to make sure it did the job, let's put it that way. And at point blank range, obviously. But this gun at 50 yards will kill a groundhog. So that's how the velocity of this particular air rifle is. It's quite a unit. So anyway, that was the implement. So, yeah, the vets, previous cats that I've had put down at the vet, I mean, they went like $150. You know, and then they charge you a disposal fee and everything. I mean, you know, that's a lot of money. And who knows what they do. And this was a personal thing. I've had this cat for many years, and, you know, I mean, it was kind of an event, you know, and her and I were very close, and I felt better doing it myself. It's like the old days, you know, you watch the Westerns and, you know, putting the horse out of its misery, you know. I mean, that's what you do. So, I don't know if it's politically correct today, George, but it's politically correct for me, I'll tell you, so. There you have it. Anyway, yeah, so, good. Anything new radio-wise? Pretty much the same stuff here. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably eat dinner very soon. I wish there was another... wish there was another person in here. I could make myself another cocktail, but I'm going to need at least 3 or 4 minutes to be able to do that. I listen on the WebSDR. I don't miss anything, but, you know, I'd have to be in a hurry unless you want to make an old buzzard, which I guess AMers don't have any problem with buzzards. So, all righty. Back to you, George. See if Rich is off the phone. If not, pick it up. N2LJO, W2SDR.
W3FJJ.
Oh, Chuck's there. Okay, I got a minute. I'll be listening to you guys. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, you got your wish. Now you can get a cocktail. Very good. Hello, Chuck. W3FJJ, W2SDR, N2LJO. Rich was in here before, I guess, just before I came on, and then he disappeared. David's supposed to be eating, so he may be back. I'm hearing both of you guys so far perfectly, so hopefully the band doesn't take a dump and we'll be able to speak a little while. And we're getting ready for some snow here. I don't know how the weather system affects where you are, but we are getting ready for a storm tonight into tomorrow, and I was outside before putting my car in the garage. When we get a bad storm, we put both of ours in, and excuse me, and you could just like taste it in the air. So we'll have to see how much we get. They are saying that we could get 4 to 8. I don't know. I'm over it. You know, if it snowed once, like around Christmas, that would be cool. But I guess compared to last winter, I don't know how many storms we had by this time last year. But I know I had quite a bill with the plow guy. So hopefully that won't be the case this year. Good signal here into Nueva York. W3FJJ and the group N2LJO.
Yeah, N2LJO in the group W3FJJ. Oh, good evening, George. Good evening, Frank. Yeah, but good signals coming in here. About 10 to 15 over here, George. Sounding good. I'm not sure how much snow we're supposed to get tonight. We got about 3 to 4 inches today. Started early this morning, but the temperature got up over 32 degrees. It was about 35 degrees here afternoon time, and so a lot of it's melted already. The streets are pretty clear. They're wet, but they're clear. But it was looking pretty nasty out there this morning. Before noontime, I was supposed to go out and play some pickleball around 11 o'clock, but decided not to. But it looked pretty bad. But after about noontime, temperature rose and things are starting to melt. And it looks like the temperature is going to be hanging around the freezing mark. It's not going to get much higher than 32 overnight, but it's just straight borderline. And it is supposed to get, according to the weather.com here, we're going to get snow. I don't know how much, but from now until tomorrow, whatever. It just says snow, snow, snow every hour. But it really, actually, okay, I'm looking at it now. It says like 6 o'clock tomorrow morning it may be changing to rain. So hopefully that's the case. We'll see what happens. Sorry to hear, Frank, about your cat there. That's sad. I've got one cat here, I guess he's about 12 years old. I have to look it up. But she's getting, well, I'm hoping she's got quite a few more years left. Seems to be doing okay, but you never know. And I heard you mentioning about wanting a dog there, George. Yeah, I would, in some ways I'd like to have a dog as well. I had a chocolate lab for 12 years. I really missed her. But like you say, there are a lot of they cost a lot of money, and then it kind of ties you down. So I'm not really looking. So because of those two factors, I certainly love dogs. Nice to have a dog. My nephew got a Labrador puppy. I guess it's about a year old now. But boy, is that a beautiful dog! And I go over there and wrestle with it, and say, wow. They're a lot of fun. All right, see if Frank's back there. Again, sorry to hear that, Frank. I'm sure you're gonna miss your cat there. I think you got a bunch more. So, anyway, W2SDR and the group. This is W3FJJ on the FT1000.
Okay, I'm glad it came up during the end there. The beginning or the middle was, the band was going long and you were disappearing. But you came up towards the end. Good evening, Chuck. Good to hear you, man. Haven't heard. We've been getting in here almost every night, but earlier, especially Dave and I, get in here about 4:30 because he's got that dinner call early most of the time. So we've been getting in early almost every night, though. So, but your signal really came up towards the end. Thanks for your condolences about the cat. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way of looking at it. I got plenty of cats. There's no shortage of cats. But this one was my only cat that never went outside. You know, she was kind of a staple here. Well, dogs, we had dogs. We had a golden retriever. We had a black lab. They're wonderful dogs, but, you know, they're like perpetual 3-year-olds. And like you say, Chuck, they really tie you down. And we had invisible fence here on my property. You've been here. You know what this place looks like, Chuck. And it was great for the dogs. They loved it. They could be outside most of the time. But, you know, you want to go away or something, I mean, it's a problem. It costs so much money to board animals today. It really does. It's like costs more than you're going to pay to stay in a motel, you know, for the animals. So, no more dogs. I loved my dogs, but I'm not going to get another dog. But George, do it, or Rich, do it, whatever you want to do there. See, now, I get George and Rich mixed up all the time. Did Rich come back from his phone call? You know, it's dementia setting in. Dementia is setting in. Anyway, what else was I going to say? I don't know. I can't, I was writing a couple things down, but I'm not the best on writing stuff down, so I hope everyone is still hearing me okay. I'm on the usual rig. I might increase my power a little bit. It's about 350 watts of carrier there now, so I don't know, it probably didn't make any difference, but I'm trying to remember who gets it, because Chuck turned it over to me. I'm going to turn it over to George. And George, you'll have to tell me if Rich is still in here. I feel horrible. I get you guys mixed up like all the time. N2LJO, W2SDR in the group.
We must be twins, George.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, okay. No problem there, Frank. I don't know. Maybe it's our inflection. I don't know. I don't think I sound that much like Rich, but it's okay. There are worse people that I could sound like. And well, before you went to make your cocktail, you were talking about old buzzards and all. I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword. I think both break-in and round tables cut both ways. They can be good and they can be bad. You hear guys with the break-in and they probably double 25% of the time that people are talking, especially if somebody's got an SDR and there's a little latency involved. So, and it can get a little chaotic, and, you know, I guess the flip side, the round tables can get a little boring, but, you know, that's why you have a notepad. And you take a little note. Rich said this, Chuck said that, Frank said this, and throw your 2 cents in. I mean, that's what I do. It is a little bit more orderly. I don't know. But I used to, when I was on 11 meters, like every 6 months, I used to take all this stuff, disconnect it, throw it in the closet, because I was frustrated with people playing music and cursing and chucking carriers, as we used to say. And then the radio bug would bite me again. And, 6 months down the road, I would take everything out, reconnect it, and get back on, But I guess I knew back then I should have been a ham, and I didn't do it. What are you going to do? So, all right, so I guess I'll throw it to Rich, who can throw it to Chuck, who can throw it to Frank, who can throw it to me. From Tinkers to Evers to Chance. So, I guess Rich is back. N2RY in the group, N2LJO.
Yeah, pick it up, George. I mean, Rich.
Hi, George. Hi, Chuck. Just one of my techs from work. He was at a client site all day. He was just filling me in on his way home and planning for tomorrow. So I'm not sure where the conversation has gone now, except me and George are twins with Frank. And Chuck, you must be like a pickleball king by now, because we're going to start seeing you on like the pickleball championships on ESPN. Soon you'll be on the ESPYs. So I'm going to turn it over. In the group, N2RY.
N2RY in the group, W3FJJ. Good evening, Rich. Sounding good. Frank, I haven't noticed any QSB or anything yet. I mean, nobody fading out anyway, so hopefully that was temporarily. On my signal there, you came back nice and strong. And George is strong and rich, so far so good on this end this evening. I wish Rich, I play a lot, but and I'm one of the better players in the area here. There are better players, but top third, whatever. Our ambassador says that he's getting contacted once a day from somebody who's interested in playing. Our pickleball ambassador. So that's how much it's growing around this area. So that would be 300 people a year. Anyway, but I should probably be better than I am. I play as much as I do, but you have to play against better players too. And if you're a better player and you're playing against weaker players, it's harder to get better. But I'm not really into that. I'm just into it for the fun, the exercise. There's a lot of social interaction there, just plain fun and exercise. And a great way to spend a couple hours a day. All right, enough about that. Let's see. What we got here? I'm just talking about the boarding the dog. Great. I was lucky when I had my dog. My parents always, if I went away, parents would take care of my dog, which was great. But and the cat, you can leave for at least a few days. I have an indoor cat. he'll come over and I go away for longer. See what we have here. So I'll just keep it moving here. I'll, bring up any new topics or whatever. Interested in what kind of gun that was that you had there, Frank. I think you said a Gamma, and I wonder if that has a CO2 cartridge or if it's one of those pump ones. I've got some of the old Crossman rifles, you know, I got 2 of those, the pump, big pellets, BBs. But I don't know how that compares to W2SDR in the group, W3FJJ.
N9PVF is back.
Yeah, okay. Welcome back, David. W2SDR. Real quick before I forget, in the group, it's about $600 for this rifle. I mean, they're as expensive, if not more, than like a 22 or a bigger rifle. It's a much, much better rifle than a Crossman. It's a Gammo, G-A-M-O, Gammo. And it's the Gammo Whisper Fusion. And it can take up to .177 pellet. It'll take the high velocities or the standard, and the high velocities, of course, break the sound barrier. So they're loud, okay, because of the crack. They're a nasty gun, man, I'm telling you. It's unbelievable. It's one pump to get that velocity. So it's a real high quality piece. Like, I paid about $600 for mine. So yeah, there. So let me see. A pickleball ambassador. Now you're going to have to clarify that. I've never. That's a new one on me. What does a pickleball ambassador do? And I mentioned a couple of times to Ed, he didn't pick up on it, so I guess, you know, it's not an issue. But I don't know if you were in here that night. I emailed him, so maybe you don't know about that. That girl was over here that time, and you guys came over here on your motorcycles. I mean, being that I'm single now, you know, she was, like, very nice. I mean, what's the story on her, Chuck? if you don't mind mentioning that in passing, okay. So the band it was that one little fade, Chuck, and you faded out almost, but then you came right back up, so you probably didn't even hear it. Everybody is a great copy. And I've been turning it over to George, N2LJO, and his twin brother, Rich, N2RY. So over to you, David, and hope you enjoyed your dinner. N9PVF in the group, W2SDR.
Oh, delicious. Thank you. Excuse me. Frank, who do I pass it to?
I don't know, one of the twins. I think I was passing it to George.
Deal. Oh, well, I'd like to come down on a motorcycle. I don't know if I would be riding that. If my balance gets better, and my shake eliminates. And, I'll know in about 3 months. I have me, Frank. I have Chuck, Frank, me, George, and then Rich. Like Schwarzenegger and DeVito. I haven't seen George. I'll assume he's the tall, handsome one, and Rich is... oh, I'm going to get shot. Anyway, no, dinner was blackened haddock, which is absolutely delicious. My wife's gotten very good at doing that. And she flipped it in cayenne. So it was much spicier than she normally does it, and to me, that was absolutely perfect. She does these green beans with lemon rind. And I got them at the discount place. Oh, these were good green beans. Absolutely outstanding green beans. This place either had absolutely outstanding produce, and the broccoli had been sitting in storage for about 6 months, pardon me. N2LJO, the man with the ICO 720. Frank, I remember going to one of the big, mega mall kind of hunting and fishing places, and they had a $1,400 deer rifle. And I don't remember the brand or whatever, but I do remember that the ones that the Swiss used to kill all of Napoleon's men in the Alps, they were absolutely silent, and they couldn't have been supersonic. Maybe they used the bigger caliber. Pick it up, George. N2LJO. The last thing, N9PVF in the group.
Alrighty. Well, welcome back from dinner. Glad you enjoyed. Very good. Good to speak to you. And so far at 6:10 p.m., the band is holding up. I checked the hourly weather forecast over here, and it's not supposed to start until about 7 a.m. But man, does it ever, you could just feel it and taste it in the air outside. And I used to ride when I was in my mid-20s to early 30s, and then where I was, it was difficult to store a motorcycle. I let it go, and I guess I haven't ridden in about 25 years. And sometimes I miss it, and sometimes I don't, and I contemplate the little aches and pains that I have and how I would deal. Like I had an XS 1100 Yamaha, and that was a big heavy bike to hold up. And of course, you know, the idiot drivers being older, I think maybe you're a little bit more wary than you are when you're young. So I don't know. I don't know if I will ever again ride a motorcycle. Don't know. And Rich and I, well, I guess, you know, to Frank at least we sound alike, Rich. So we can have fun with that, you know. We could just swap call signs and really have fun. But I know what that feels like, though, because there are two guys up in the window. I don't hear them down here. And I know now which one is which, but it probably took me 2 years to finally figure out. And that's John, KC2FXE, and then there's this guy, Steve. I forget what his call was originally. Then he took his uncle's call, something TRH. Might be W2TRH. I don't know if either of you guys know either of those guys, but those two guys, when I first got on AM here, like 13 years ago, I could never tell which one of them was which. So I do know what that feels like. And yeah, I'm on the ICO. I've got to get something else in here, I think, plate modulated. If I'm going to, I'd like to get, maybe get that Ranger. If I get that Ranger sounding really good, maybe I'll bring that in here, and I'll leave that up in the window, and I'll get myself a no-tune push-here dummy amplifier, because whenever I want to change frequencies with this thing, I got to throw a lot of switches back and forth, because I got to tune the amp with the 870 with 100 watts. Then I got to tune the ICO with the power turned all the way up on the ICO. Then I got to switch back to the amplifier and then tune the ICO into the amp just to make sure it's tweaked right. Then I got to turn the dial down to drop the power down on the ICO. It's like a whole big space shuttle checklist here that I have to go through. I mean, that's part of the fun, but there are times I would have changed frequencies and I just didn't feel like being bothered. So, all right, I'll give it to my twin brother up there in Dutchess County, up the Taconic Parkway. N2RY and the group. How much have you been watching the forecast by you? I wonder what you're supposed to get. Last I saw, we're like in the 4 to 6, 3 to 8, something like that, and I think you're a little bit higher on what's expected. N2RY and the group N2LJO.
Okay, can I just interject something in here for just a second, Rich? Or...
Go ahead.
Okay, just one comment. Maybe you guys could all comment on this if you don't mind, because this, like, getting confused stuff. Why don't you guys put your pictures on your QRZ page? All I see is I go on there and I see pictures of an empty chair. I see pictures of radios. It is your page, N2RY, N2LJO, you know, N9PVF. I want to see your picture on there next to your call letters. And then you can put as many radio pictures as you want. So then it's like I can see who I'm talking to. Go ahead, Rich, W2SDR.
I'm going to wear an N2LJO mask with my picture up. Well, George LJO is my brother from another mother, because his call is LJO. N2LJO, my original call was N2LLW. So we are really close in the call sequence. So that may have something to do with it. So Frank, you may have picked up on something. And let's see. Pickleball ambassador. Chuck, I can just picture you in a tux with this big ornamental sash across your shoulder here, across your chest, a whole pocket full of medals on your coat. I think you would make a fine pickleball ambassador. You would be a credit to your sport. And you're absolutely right. You certainly don't get better by playing players of a lesser skill set. You only get better by getting your ass kicked on occasion by somebody much better than you. I learned that playing tennis a long time ago. And George, as far as motorcycles, that's pretty much what happened to me. I rode motorcycles since I was 17, and even went over the handlebars into the side of a car on one, and that did not deter me from riding after that. I got right back on after I got another bike a couple of months later. What finally did it was just doing a leisurely drive into work and having to deal with all the idiots. Going over the Mid-Hudson Bridge, going through New Falls, coming back from New Falls, coming back over the Mid-Hudson Bridge, and going through the city of Poughkeepsie. That scared me more than actually driving down the Taconic when I was working in Westchester. Although I tended not to do it that much because of the weather, I just didn't want to get stuck in a thunderstorm and have to drive that far home. But up here, too many idiots. I finally sold the bike. I enjoyed every minute of it. When I did have it, you know, I just realized, you know, a car pulls out in front of you and you slam into the side of it, and you get launched over the car, and you hit the car's roof, you bounce back in the road. That still doesn't deter me. So I was younger then. I still wasn't sort of invincible. A little flat, but I wasn't broken. W3FJJ in the group. And N2RY. Or my N2LJO. I got it.
N2RY in the group. W3FJJ. Hello, David. Welcome back. And sounds like a good dinner there. I think that's blackened haddock. Sounds like your wife's a great cook. All right. Well, on the pickleball ambassador thing, well, no, I would not make a good ambassador because I'm not proactive. I really prefer playing, but I also, I like to help the sport and grow it in the area. I'm volunteer to help teach pickleball to beginners. So we have some clinics that we're doing right now for beginners, and but the ambassador, he organized all that, so he's doing everything. It's a full-time job, and he loves it, and you gotta love it, you know. And he's not a real good player, and he's a little bit older, but he enjoys the sport, and he enjoys doing that kind of stuff, I guess. He just, you know, so he got about, let's see, at least 3 or 4 new places to play indoors in this area, you know, by contacting them and telling, you know, he's just been promoting pickleball. That's what the ambassadors do. And they promote the sport, and they're the contact, you know, in the area. It's all listed on the internet and stuff. When you're in the area, you know, and you want to find out where anything about pickleball, I contact the ambassador, and you know, and there's usually at least one in every county. If not, you can have more than one ambassador. I was asked to be an ambassador about a year or two ago, before this guy took over, and I just realized that I'm just not that proactive, you know. I'm glad that this guy picked it up, and really, you know, he's a people person, and so really doing sport great, and it's like growing like crazy around here, and just about everywhere, really. Frank, that's a good way to meet women, I'll tell you. a lot of women playing pickleball there. Looking, I don't know about Barb. I only met her. I might have met her one other time, other than that motorcycle ride we took. So I don't know too much about her. I know she worked with Ed there at DuPont. Nice gal. Let's see. What else? Oh yeah. I think I am going to put my pick on QRZ. One thing is I don't have anybody here, you know, taking my picture, but I can set up a tripod or whatever. But you know, I guess I could get somebody to take my picture, but I have never gotten around to doing that. And the other thing is I like to see updated pictures. You know, you see, I've seen some guys that have the same picture that's been on there for 20 years. You know, they got the picture on there, but that was 20 years ago. I think times have changed, but it is kind of nice to see who you're talking to. I also, you know, it's great to see the ham shacks and everything like that. Didn't have that in the old days. All right, keep it rolling here. Frank on that gun. I was looking up, Gammo Whisper. I couldn't find anything more than like, you know, $300 that they sold. But you know, maybe I haven't looked long enough. But so far, that was the highest end that I saw. There's a bunch of Whisper models out there. I noticed. Anyway, pretty cool. Didn't know that existed. All right, W2SDR in the group, W3FJJ.
Okay, Chuck, W3FJJ in the group. W2SDR. Let's see if I can email you a link. Yeah, here it is, on my new email address. This is my new email address, so you're going to get this from Chuck. So, I'll change it. The old one still works, so I'm gonna eliminate that soon. So I'll send you a link. I mean, this is at the Gammo site. It may be cheaper other places. Yeah, I know what you're saying about the picture. It's like I know guys that have pictures on there like they're like 30 and they're like 70 now, you know. It's like they should update them. But, you know, the ones that really get me are the pictures of their shack with an empty chair and all these radios. Like, an empty chair, where are you? Why aren't you sitting in a chair? And with the new smartphones and all, I don't think you have a smartphone, Chuck, but if you did, I mean, you can take a selfie of yourself and put it on there. But it was just, you know, that's just a pet peeve of mine. Why you don't see pictures? Because it's a personal listing, you know, and with no pictures of the guy who's listed, you know. So, yeah, okay, Barb. I thought you knew her pretty well. I bounced her off the head a few times, and didn't really pick up on it. I guess he doesn't want to do anything about it, you know, but yeah, she was pretty nice. So pickleball, they got a lot of women at that. I knew a woman that I met online that does pickleball up near Marlton, New Jersey, but she's too far away. It's like 30 miles away. I'm not going to deal with that as far as a date or meeting her or anything, you know, for any regular. I mean, we saw each other a few times, but it's just too far away. But I don't know if there's any pickleball groups around here, but it looks like a really fun thing to play, though. I've watched some YouTubes on it. It really looks really cool. I love it. As far as haddock goes, haddock is one of those fishes, I guess, like along with cod, that is real popular for fish and chips in the UK. I love a good fish and chips, you know, from a good UK-type bar or pub, you know, that has that. It's really, really good. Well, John FXC, him and I go back a long, long way on AM. I don't know the other guy that you mentioned, but John FXC is a really good guy. Him and I go back many, many decades here on AM. So, there you go. So, motorcycles, I just sold my Triumph. Well, I gave it to my son, actually, and he sold it. But no more motorcycles with me. It's too dangerous for me. I'm not going to ride bikes anymore. I did it for many, many years, had lots of motorcycles, but no more. N9PVF in the group, W2SDR. Go ahead, David.
Anybody else want to come in? Okay. W2SDR, N9PVF in the group. So, the XS 1100 came out the year after I bought my Beamer R75/6. Bought it brand new. Bought it in November, had him sit on it until spring. And by the end of that summer, I had driven it from Cleveland to the northernmost part of Vancouver Island, next stop is Japan, and then back again, with a girlfriend on the back of the bike, who actually, she's only 5'2", lives in South Carolina, and she had absolutely no trouble driving the bike on the highway, and I would be leaning back in the seat, near the backrest, looking around, and kids would be flipping out of the car, in Montana or Colorado or wherever, pointing, going, look, there's a girl driving the bike. But Adele, she was 800 on every test. She was 4.2 for GPA undergrad and graduate school. And she was doing stuff having to do with DNA well before anything had come out. So she had spent 2 years developing this technique, and she had what looked like 5x7 black and white negatives with about 13 columns in each one. Each one represented the density of proteins and different things. She had to analyze that to walk out the door. I looked at that and said, you know, those look like chromosome karyotyping. We just got the JPL karyotyping machine and BME. 7 days later, I had analyzed, with the help of people who write the software, we were on there every night from midnight to 4 a.m., all the data, and the next 30 days later, I was her grunt in the laboratory doing all sorts of stuff I would not know how to do again. But she wrote her thesis the next month and she graduated. But she was absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, Case Western Reserve, and I will go where near when you make a fast-embedded shootlet, the basis of patent, that eventually went public domain when her thesis was published. That variation of that technique of using densitometry with computer-aided imaging to figure out protein in the well was worth $13 billion. So, going back to the more interesting thing.
Smoked enough pot to figure this out.
On the Cleveland Clinic because they were able to tell you about the high-density lipoprotein. And they kind of knew about cholesterol, like all the history. So, I had the test, and the XS 1100 come out. And I wanted one of those in the worst way. I'll do 140 off the showroom floor. I tell the nurse, she asked me, why are you volunteering for this test? Well, I told her a little bit about my family history and about my Beamer. So my Beamer will do about 105 miles an hour. Yamaha, and I called it the Yamazuka Death Machine, will do 140. And so if I fail this test to get a bad number, I'm going to buy one of those and sell my Beamer. With that, how do you put extra pics on the QRZ page? Because I have no idea. And I'm going to watch a YouTube about pickleball, because I don't really know how the game is played, even though I must have looked it up 5 times online. So I have it going to N2LJO. So you are Schwarzenegger of the Twins. The Ranger, I'm certain, will sound absolutely marvelous. I know 2 linear is nice. Live long and prosper. N9PVF.
All right, yeah, well, the Ranger may need a modulation transformer. That's another story. I'm going to keep it short, get my comments off the pad, and pull the plug because the band is going, and my wife filled up the crock pot with stew components this morning, and the timer just went off. So I'm going to, Frank, what I'm going to do just for you, I'm going to get up one morning, and right after, the day after I got a haircut and shave and put on a nice shirt and tie and sit in the chair and take a picture from the waist up, and I won't be wearing any pants, and that'll be my special tribute. And a good inside joke. You see that commercial? Oh, that's funny. The guy's like home in a meeting on his laptop. He's sitting on the couch. And he drops the laptop, and he's in his underwear. Very funny. Anyway, Rich, you must have been licensed 1990. That's when my call was issued. It's also my first and only call. I talked about the stew, the bikes. I only went down one time, and it wasn't too bad. It was a slow-speed thing. This stupid woman pulled out of a parking spot without looking in her mirror. And I did not know what pickleball was, Chuck. I just looked at a video real quick, and it looks like a cross between tennis and ping pong. So if it's a good way to meet women, I hope you enjoy it. So I'm going to say 7-3. I'll listen out for a couple minutes here. Looks like the band is going. Everybody stay warm and dry and safe in the storm. And I am supposed to send it back to Rich, my twin brother from another mother, N2RY in the group N2LJO.
All right, see you, bro. And every time we look at your picture, he's not wearing any pants. We'll know that. Chuck, I still think you'll look good in the tux with the sash and the medals. So, not to be confused with Captain Obvious. But, yeah, I watched videos of that too, and that does kind of look fun. Playing on the tennis court. So, yeah, David, you're really starting to drop out there. So, let me keep it moving before we lose it. You guys can give George your fondest views. W3FJJ in the commission group and the commission band. N2RY.
N2RY in the group. W3FJJ. Yeah, 7-3, George. Good hearing you in there tonight. Great signal. And moving up and down the band and retuning is kind of a PIA. But you're on the old equipment. That's what you got to deal with. Well, the goal wasn't to meet women on pickleball, but there is plenty of women playing it. Not all things, most of them are married, but you run into a lot of women that way. So just maybe giving Frank a hint there. Yeah, I'm sure there's some pickleball. I don't know how close, but there's pickleball everywhere. If you look, there's an app called Places to Play, and it pulls up a map, and it just you can go anywhere in the country, and you'll find places. I know there's some over there, over in Jersey, probably like you say, Cherry Hill, a little bit north, but of course down around the beaches and all, there's a bunch of places, but I'm not sure about exactly where you are, Frank, if you're interested. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's the main thing. It's fun and great exercise. Hard to go wrong there, and it's not. You can play as hard as you want. You get some really good. Everybody's like the same level, and you can get into some very intense games physically. Or sometimes it's just relaxing. You just play. You're not really working too hard, but you're still getting some exercise no matter what. You're out there for a couple hours on your feet, running a little bit. But it's 1/3 the size of a tennis court, so it's not near as hard on your body as playing tennis. Both from the aspect that the ball is lighter, the paddle is lighter. A lot of people get tennis elbow and a lot of injuries playing tennis. Not that you can't get injuries in pickleball as well, but it's not quite as bad. And it's a little easier on the body, on your knees and your hips and everything else. And there's more strategy. Personally, there's more strategy than tennis. Once you get to know the rules and everything, there's a lot of can be a chess match, which is pretty cool. You can get an 80-year-old lady. She'll kick your ass in pickleball, but she knows how to hit the ball soft and short and place it right. She'll kick your ass. I don't care how strong and you could be 6'8" and built, athletic and all that. Yeah, doesn't matter. There's a lot of finesse to the sport. All right. Let's see. Frank got your email. I looked up that rifle. You can get that for $400 on Amazon.
Yeah, $738.
$100 cheaper, but you might have bought yours a while ago, and prices have dropped. But that looks pretty interesting. Yeah. It's like a top-of-the-line air rifle there. And I put your new email in my address book there. Yep. Yeah, I got a smartphone here. I can do a selfie. Yep, that's a possibility. Or I've got a tripod, and I think I could set that up. So I'll probably work on that. Eventually get a picture up there. Like you say, some guy's got to update theirs once in a while. I guess any picture is better than no picture. Anyway, keep it rolling here. So far, things are hanging in there. 7-3 George, and over to you there, Frank. And W2SDR in the group, W3FJJ.
Okay, David had a sign out, so he's gone. He jumped in there briefly. W2SDR. Thanks, Chuck. Well, I noted all those things. Places to play. I'll have to look that up. That might be something I want to get into. The pickleball. That sounds like a lot of fun. George signed out too. Okay, so I'll look into all that stuff. So it sounds very good. Very interesting. But I'm going to sign out here. It's been a long day, traumatic day, and I'm going to go up and get something to eat for dinner. Probably hit the sack early tonight, so enjoyed it here. Had a great round table. God, I've been in here since about 4 o'clock, I guess, for me anyway, so a long time, 3 hours plus, I guess, so. Yep. So we'll see you guys later. I think Rich may be still in there. He's about the only one there. So if Rich is there, if not, Chuck, 7-3. We'll see you guys later. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully. N2RY in the group. W2SDR is QRT.
All right. Catch you guys later. Night, George. Night, David. Night, Frank. And my son just called, so I got to catch a phone call. So, Chuck, if you're going to be around in a few minutes or so, I'll give you a call. Otherwise, I'll be QRT after the phone call. 730 N2RY. Survive the storm.
All right, guys. Yep, I might be around. I got to go upstairs and get the oven warmed up here. Dinner started. So, good chatting with you guys. 7-3 Frank. Yeah, again, sorry about your cat. No, that's man, hard to lose a pet. I only lost the one. I guess in my childhood days, lost one, but I wasn't home at the time. I was out of the house. But losing my dog was pretty traumatic there. Anyway, 7-3, and I'll be, I'll probably be standing by here. At least leave things on here for a little bit. W3FJJ.